You're listening to the Future of Convenience podcast, featuring senior retail executives and experts in the global convenience and mobility industry. Welcome to the Future of Convenience podcast. I'm Carolyn Schnare, and I'm joined once again by my co-host, Harry Milloff, CEO of the Mosley Group. Hey, Harry.
Hey, Carolyn. How are you?
Good. It's great to see you. It's been a little bit since we had you on, and well, we've had summer. We've had all kinds of things. We're wrapping up here. We're getting into fall. But one of the things that we've got coming up is you and the Mosley Group are a key sponsor of Insight's Best Food Convenience in the World competition, which was huge the last year. And you went on a road trip recently. A little bit about that. You want to tell us a little bit about what you've been up to?
Yeah, no, it's been great, and we're all very excited about the Best Food Convenience Store in the World competition. I had the opportunity to see and experience some of the food convenience participants in the United States this year. Companies like Nuria, Texas Born, Sheetz, Wawa, Casey's. Really incredible just seeing what some of the new innovations and different strategies that convenience retailers are using across the country. Really looking at improving their food service sales and experiences across many different markets. And as you know, this competition's open globally, so really excited just to see from other countries all the submissions as they start to come in.
Well, you're our one of our resident experts on food convenience and food service, and we've had a great time talking with tons of really cool guests from around the world about food and what makes it special and how to prepare it and how to serve it and how to make it fast and fun and all that other stuff. And we're going to do a little bit more of that today.
Very exciting.
Before we get started, I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about one of our sponsors, Noah's. The iPhone moment for service stations is here. You're losing food sales to restaurants and delivery apps. Well, Noah's flips the script. They install high-quality food units inside your store. No chefs, no extra staff, no major capital investment. Just proven technology, smart kitchens, and digital brands people actually want. Noah's connects your store to delivery platforms, your own app, kiosks, and even TikTok if you want. It's plug and play. And it works. Noah's, where convenience competes with restaurants. Learn more at noahs.global.
So, Harry, we're going to talk with an exciting guest today. Would you like to introduce him?
Of course. So, Khalid is the founder and chairman of Daily Food Co. He's the driving force behind Maestro Pizza. And for those that may not be aware, Maestro Pizza is, I would consider it to be the dominant force of pizza across Saudi Arabia. I've had the opportunity to work in and out of the region for probably about 11 or 12 years now, and it's really just been amazing to see Khalid and Maestro Pizza grow. I believe Khalid, you founded Maestro in 2013, and now there's over 200 locations. You are not only in Saudi, but if I understand correctly, also in UAE and other surrounding markets. But I'm very excited for this interview today, and Khalid, thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you for the invite. Excited to be here.
Great. So Khalid, I would really love just to take a step back and start from the beginning a bit. There's such an amazing story behind Maestro Pizza, and I'm curious just to learn what was your original vision behind this concept, and how has it evolved over time?
Yeah, so when we first started, pizza was a very small market in Saudi, and I was wondering, why was it that small? We had a family business which is in bakery, and we were selling a cheese croissant for 1 riyal, which is around $0.25, 25 cents. And it's dough and cheese. When we order pizza from the international players in Saudi, I'd pay probably $15 for cheese and dough as well. So it just didn't make sense. My brother, who was leading the bakery at the time, saw the opportunity. He motivated me to looked at it, tried to triangulate the hypothesis, whether it made sense or not. One of the things we looked at was the Big Mac index. And Big Mac index in Saudi at the time was probably 35% lower than what it is in the US. So a Big Mac is 35% cheaper in Saudi than it is in the US, while the pizza was about 50% more expensive than the US. And this didn't make sense. So we started looking at why could it be? Is it really margin? And at the end, it was really margin that these competitors were keeping for themselves. So we saw that as an opportunity to capture market share, grow, and be a prominent player in that domain.
It's incredible. And, as you looked at the different strategies as you were going in with this business model, it's clear, price point was one differentiating factor. And, seeing some of your promotions and some of the growth over the years, if I remember correctly, there's been um, different, somewhat of guarantees, 30 minutes or it's free and there's been, 10 minutes, I think for dine-in orders and things like that. And you've really kind of driven towards elements of convenience and, how we can, you can really create these customer experiences in ways that are happening rather quickly. And I'm curious, as you think about the evolution of Maestro, um, has there been a focus towards speed and convenience aside from some of these other attributes of pricing and things like that?
Yeah, so 2-3 years down the road, since we started, the competition started taking us seriously. We had about 50 stores, and we realized that they basically matched our prices, both Pizza Hut, Domino's, and all the big players. They matched our prices, slashing the prices by half, which was still, by the way, more expensive than the US. And we realized that we always needed a differentiator because we cannot just depend on pricing. Price was a good tactic to acquire customers, but when competitors started matching us, it was difficult for us to retain them. So we were thinking, how can we be better than others? What would the customer think? What does the customer need? So we found the pain point. It was that delivery used to take like 45, 60 minutes with competitors. People would go and order a pickup order in the branch and would wait probably for 20, 25 minutes. So we said, let's focus on our delivery time, whether it's in the branch or at home. And we basically started understanding where are we wasting time. We even went to Tokyo, to a factory of Toyota. We learned about lean manufacturing and different types of wastes, and tried to apply all of this in our situation. And we were able to guarantee a delivery guarantee of 30 minutes and the pickup of 10 minutes.
Wow. It's very impressive. And I think that, as you think about um the speed of which you're able to make products at your restaurants, and something that we talk a lot about with a lot of different convenience leaders globally, is how does the food arrive, at the restaurant to begin with, and what level of prep is required and assembly is required at store level versus from third party manufacturers, or some are aggressive and enough to really think about developing that internally, whether that's a vertically integrated commissary or supply chain. And I know that, Khalid, you have done a lot of work in that area. And one of the most impressive capabilities from my perspective of Maestro Pizza business is around the vertically integrated supply chain that's been developed. And I'm curious, as you think about speed and just what you were describing in terms of the processes, and where you're finding bottlenecks and what slows you down. Has your central kitchen played a role in speeding up store level operations? And are you able to bring prep activities out of the store level employee?
Yeah, definitely. So every product we think about launching, we look at it from a manufacturing perspective and try to minimize the dependence on labor in the branch as much as possible, because our factory is highly automated. We produce dough, sauces, meat toppings, many other items, side dishes, desserts, etc., etc. and we try to minimize as much as possible what goes on in the branch. A lot of competitors do that as well by outsourcing. So they would outsource, for example, their sauce production or outsource their dough production. And it's great because it really sets good consistency. But I think having your own centralized kitchen or facility gives you something extra, which is agility. So the agility of developing products, the agility of enhancing them is a big strength that we have.
So to that point, agility, do you offer like limited time offers or anything like that? Like specials that just, you're on some new flavor of, like, here in the US, it's like, everything's hot honey or something like that. Do you have offers like that you
Yeah,
roll out?
definitely. So we consider ourselves the fastest innovator. So sometimes we would actually launch a product within a week, which is unheard of in the QSR.
Wow.
Of course, our operations hate it, but sometimes we need it and it helps. And this is the agility I was talking about. We do a lot of LTOs, and more than LTOs, we do a lot of tests. So we would test something in one region, other products in another region, and then decide which one to launch. So if you don't have this agility, you're not able to do these tests as fast as you want.
What's your favorite new crazy flavor?
I'm a classic, so I like the margaritas, but our best seller is the ranch-based products, which is ranchy dynamite or chicken ranch.
That's big
Yeah.
here, I think, too.
Oh yeah. And so, just on that point in terms of LTOs and bringing in new innovations and things like that, where are you coming up with these ideas? Are you bringing in elements of data capture? Are you talking to customers, and kind of gaining feedback of what's next, or looking at global trends, or, really, how does that process look? I'm curious because, a lot of these LTOs and new product development innovations can really help to drive traffic and drive trial and get people, excited about an offering. And it's something that in the food convenience space across the convenience industry is talked about a lot. And, how do we come up with some of these ideas, and how do you know if you have a winner on your hands, are all, really interesting topics. I'm curious how you think about that and where you come up with your ideas.
So there are two ways we get ideas. One is internal, the other one is external. Internal is basically looking at what sells and then building up on it. So, for example, our best seller was chicken ranch. We added dynamite ranch, barbecue ranch, sunset ranch, and this we actually seldomly test these products and branches. We just launch them as LTOs. If they make it, they make it. If not, we just take them off. The second track is looking at the market, what the market, looking at trends, sriracha or Korean chicken or whatever is happening in the world, and trying to catch it. The problem with the second one is that it's usually a lot of brands jump on the same thing at the same time. It gets sometimes boring, and you need to be at the edge of it before everyone else. But I think both are needed.
Mm-hmm. So, it's often when I've had the opportunity to work with different founder-led businesses, that there are growing pains over the years, and there might be something that, what works in one location versus 5 locations versus 10, and then if you start getting up to maybe 75 locations, any issue in the operation or in, it starts to get a real magnifying glass on it. And when you start looking at the growth of Maestro, and now you have multiple hundred locations. I'm just curious, over the years, how have you balanced your the growth alongside consistency, and really thinking around operational excellence across that growth spectrum. How have you thought of that? And are there any issues that you've experienced?
So I think I would say we've been lucky in that, and I think because we've done the right things. So at the initial ideation stage of the concept, Maestro, we were talking to a lot of experts, industry experts, and one of the experts was actually a consultant who worked with a pizza chain internationally, and we told him, look, we have this issue with this opportunity, and we want to go for it. And what issues do other chains face? And actually, he told us about a story of one of the pizza chains that went uh, like grew so fast, and then they were making everything in the store um, handmade, and they were proud of it. And when they grew a lot, they said, no, let's do our central commissary and do power baking, and they came up with different ways to optimize and let's say um, standardize the product. And when they did the change, the product changed. I mean, the product, you could argue the new one was better, but it changed. So customers were used to something, and then it changed, so they don't want it anymore. And they started facing a lot of uh, consumer dissatisfactions, and up to today they didn't recover. So what we did is when before opening store one, we had our commissary. It was much smaller, much less automated, but we had our commissary. We had experts in automation and manufacturing who would tell us that yes, this process can be scaled when you have 100 or 200 or 300 branches. So we followed exactly the same process we did from the first store till today.
Wow.
And you're up to what, 200, did I read?
We are about 220 something, yeah.
Wow. Are you continuing? What's your long-term growth, like total world domination?
Look, we are focusing on the region, the GCC first, probably the surroundings, because it's the same language here in the Arab world, same culture. I think one of the strengths we have is understanding the consumer, and the closer you are to the consumer, the more things you share with consumer, the better you'd be able to understand them and give them what you need.
Mhm. So when we look globally at the convenience food service industry, pizza is a really common food category within convenience outlets. And I'm curious, have you ever explored any partnerships with convenience stores or other types of retail formats? And have you ever seen success, in a more in a convenience environment? Is that something that you considered?
Yeah, so we've been approached last year actually by a convenience store, which has a couple of hundred of locations in Saudi, to develop a product for them that is basically ready to bake, and they would bake it in the stores. We developed the product. They liked it. The issue, there were two issues that we faced. The first one, we told them from the beginning that we are not accepting to put the brand, our brand on it. So it was more of a business for the commissary, so they could put their
Mhm.
brand. And the second issue was the price, because we use uh, premium ingredients, premium cheese. We get our cheese from Leprino, which is the largest cheese supplier in the US. We get our tomatoes from Spain, Italy, Portugal for our tomato sauce. And we have state-of-art technology and ingredients that basically cost money. We're not able to satisfy their price that they wanted to buy the product for. So at the end, they canceled the whole project and they couldn't do it.
Interesting. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
amazing to think, there's so many we've seen a lot of success with partnerships over the years of different QSR brands that will actually embed themselves within a convenience retail outlet where it might be, I could envision opportunities potentially in the future where you'd see a Maestro Pizza full brick and mortar that's within this levels of service station, really just kind of attacking that convenience attribute. And there's been companies like Sbarro, for example. You see a lot of these kind of pizza programs that are seeing quite levels of success. When you're um, looking at the ordering process for customers today, are you bringing in different elements of digital customization where they're building their own pizzas, or loyalty and data capture opportunities? How does technology play a role within your customer relationships?
I would say technology is one of the top 3 areas we focus on and we invest in, especially the app and data, customer data. We focus a lot on understanding how the customer interact with our product, our menu, and we've invest a lot of money in developing a loyalty program, which we're releasing our new. So we've done the first one, didn't work. Second one worked, but we believe that we can take it even further. So we're developing a new tier with. Now we have like silver and gold. We're coming up with a third tier, which would have like different. I don't want to spoil it for our customers, but different benefits, let's say, which are unheard of in the QSR category. And I think understanding the consumer helped us a lot succeed in retaining them and keep making them happy.
hmm And how about on the back of house side? Are you looking at technology innovations, and whether that's new equipment or softwares, into more on the team member side and how they operate the locations with that same level of focus? Any kind of insights to share there?
Look, unfortunately, from a back of house perspective, the industry innovation hasn't been very exciting. I'm sure you know, Harry, you've seen. We all go to these fairs yearly and see and try to look for technologies that will help us come up with more consistent products or more or cheaper ways to produce. But unfortunately, they haven't been progressing as fast as we wish them. So we go to these fairs and see all these robots that look amazing, but we start asking them. We've been seeing these robots for the last 10 years probably, and but these robots are not commercially viable. You don't see them in the real restaurants anymore yet. So yeah, I don't think we have applied much new innovation in the back of house that is worth mentioning.
That makes sense. Yeah, and I mean, I really look at it. It's a bit of a wild west out there these days in terms of the technology innovation that's happening, and there's a lot of really incredible things that look amazing, but when you start to peel back the onion and you understand the cost and the amount of space it takes up, or servicing constraints, things like that, I agree with you that many of these kind of fully robotic automated systems are still need a little bit of time before they're looking at a broad scale commercial rollouts. Um, but super interesting. Khalid, I guess one more question that I have for you is just really thinking what's next for Daily Food Co., and whether that's Maestro or others. Are there any new concepts or new markets on the horizon for you as you look down the line?
Definitely, we're growing UAE. We're in Dubai, opening Abu Dhabi soon, Sharjah, and Ajman. We are eyeing another adjacent market, We have a couple of virtual brands that sit on Maestro's back of house. And we've got some other concepts that you worked on, Harry, a burger chain, an Italian concept that we just launched actually this year. We're excited about them.
Wonderful. Well, Khalid, I've been watching your growth over the last decade plus, and it's really incredible to see what you've done. It's amazing, just the impact that you've had on the food service industry across the region. So thank you just so much for joining us today, and thank you for this great conversation.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you. Thank you, Caroline.
Yeah, I wrote down market disruptor. I mean, it like everything you said, in a good way, of course. You came in, you revolutionized. It sounds like, pizza. You made everyone else drop their prices and their delivery time. So you're really pushing the envelope there, and I think it's amazing. So keep up the good work, and I look forward to hearing more of your journey. In a couple of years, we'll have you back on, and you'll be up to 500 stores and outsourcing everywhere and in every convenience store in the country, I'm sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, this has been another great episode, Harry. I'm excited to continue on learning about food convenience. We're going to hear a lot about that in the coming months, both on the show and with the competition and everything else. So, as always, thanks for leading us. Thanks for joining us, Khalid, and thank you for listening to The Future of Convenience. Thank you for listening to the Future of Convenience podcast, produced by Dan Munford, Nick Scherzer, Jenna Ferguson, and Lorraine Evans. It is produced and edited and mixed by Carolyn Schnare, and music is provided by Jukebox Music. Learn more at globalconvenience.com.